Pate Dewey Dembella. Lover Mercier de Boischaillot. Welcome back to the Haddonfield Horrors podcast, where we gather to discuss horror movies and horror movie franchises. I'm Mark.
I'm Tamon.
I'm Rudy.
I'm Maria.
And today we're talking about Child's Play 3, which came out in 1991, 9 months after the previous movie. Directed by Jack Bender and once again written by Don Mancini. And this time we get to see a teenage Andy Barclay set in a military school. But before we get into any of that, Tawan, can you give the people a plot summary?
Sure. It's been 8 years since the events of the second film, and we now see that Andy is a teenager who's been enrolled in a military school. Play Pal's toy company decides to re-release his Good Guys line, feeling that after all this time, the bad publicity has died down. As they reuse old materials, the spirit of Charles Lee Ray once again comes to life. In his search for Andy, Chucky falls into the hands of a younger boy, and he realizes that it may be easier to transfer his soul into an unsuspecting child. Andy is the only one who knows what Chucky is up to, and it's now up to him to put a stop to it.
So this movie came out 9 months after the last one, and it's set 8 years after the last one. When I tell you as a kid, I was so fucking confused because I was like, wait, he was just like 10. Now he's like 16, and he has like a Playboy in his bag, and this guy looks nothing like the other Andy Barclay. Like, I was like, that guy not white. What's happening right now? But what about you guys? What do you guys think about the time jump, Tuan?
Um, I don't, I don't really know how I felt about it. Like, when I watch when I see this movie back, it's like a weird one because it like even though like it's connected because we know that the character is Andy, like it still doesn't feel connected because it's like a whole different setting and like everything that went into it, and it's like I don't know if the time jump was necessary in a sense. Like if they did another one, um, with same character like Alex Vincent from the other ones, and maybe had it go a couple years or something, and then keep him as the character, and then we brought him back in the same manner. Like maybe something could have worked, but because like it just did this time skip. It's mainly just giving us that they didn't have another idea to go with Andy as a kid. So people at probably the studio and everything they were like, well, how are we going to get a new one out? And they were just like, oh, time jump. Do a time jump. Now Andy's older. Now we can do whatever we want, basically.
Maria?
Well, to be honest, this is my first time watching the third movie. So to me, it's just kind of like, I guess it doesn't really bother me as much, the time jump. Now knowing that it only came out like a couple months afterwards, it is kind of weird, that they would do it like that. But to be honest, it doesn't really bother me.
Rudy?
So I did a documentary research on it, and apparently it's supposed to be set at 8 years after the second installment. Um, I'm iffy. Like, okay, I like the fact that they jumped all the way up to that storyline because it gives us more in depth, I guess, build up of Andy's character, like what happened to Andy years after the second, So it kind of, I guess, they just want to keep the audience informed with what's going on with Andy in his life, which is like the most boringest life ever, in my opinion. But
Right?
the
Like,
whole army, I just, like I said previously, it's not my favorite movie because I just don't like army anything. I don't know why, but it,
understandable.
I'm like 50-50. I like it. I want to enjoy it only because of Chucky himself, but eh, it all just it revolves around the same thing, like in the same, what to call the army camp or whatever, and it's just boring to me. I need some different scenarios.
And the fact that he wasn't even after Andy, he had found a new boy to possess. That means we didn't fucking need Andy then. You could just left Andy out of it. Say Andy
I think
was put up in a fucking they could have had Andy locked up in a mental institution, or he could have been in prison because, like, oh, so you must have killed your foster parents and everyone else because
Mm-hmm.
like everyone's dying around you, and you and Kyle was batshit crazy, and I don't know. Given that I know where Andy goes when we get to like the last two movies and the TV series, I'm like, if Andy would have been killed at the start of this movie, I wouldn't have been mad because he wasn't needed.
I think they only used them to kind of like guide the kid in the movie. Like as his mentor, like I have, kind of like Sidney Prescott in Scream, like I lived through this kind of thing, so I'm gonna help you get through it too, kind of concept. So
It was sloppy though, but the army thing is I don't like it. I feel like they could have done something else. I mean, I get the first movie we saw him with his mom. And then the second movie we were seeing him with his foster family. And then the third movie he's just like on his own around more authority figures who don't believe that Chucky's real until they die. And
hmm
I'm like, this is so repetitive. Like I'm like, yeah, the stakes were bigger, the climax was bigger, but overall, I was like, I could skip it
yeah, it's
Yeah.
skippable.
or rewrite it.
What
what
would you
a,
rewrite if you were to like if you were to rewrite the movie, the whole part three? What would you do differently?
I would take Andy out of it or have mentions because the way they mention Andy's mom and they mention the court case and all of that, I would have mentioned Andy or have Andy be one of the first or second victims, and
Mm.
I wouldn't put it in a fucking. I wouldn't have put it in a military school. I probably would like a boarding school or another like big metropolitan area,
Mm-hmm.
like some crazy New York kids doing some stupid shit. Like I don't know anything but what the fuck we got. I would have made a fucking prequel. Like let me see the Lakeshore Strangler be the Lakeshore Strangler.
Yeah.
Yeah, a twist.
I probably,
But that's
if it
just
was
me.
me, I'll probably instead of just the military school, I probably just would have put it in like a generic boarding school.
Kind of like H2O.
Yeah, instead of a military academy, because the military, I don't know, the military academy setting just, I don't know, in my head it's just weird. But if it was just like a generic boarding school, like they could have, like a lot of the stuff could have still been the same, but um
Mm-hmm.
it just, like, I feel like it would have played more into it, especially seeing that um we know Andy was like in the foster care system, so I don't know. I could see him getting sent off to a boarding school, probably having issues, or like his foster parents just didn't want to deal with him at regular school.
Or to be honest, even maybe in like in a mental hospital, like I feel like that would have been kind of cool because it would have kind of made
Yeah,
sense, like everybody around him is dying. It would have been interesting to see how all that kind of played out. Like literally what happened right after, they found his foster parents and like where they were finally like, yeah, this kid's fucking crazy. And I don't know, I feel like it kind of would have made a little bit more sense to put him in the mental
hmm,
hospital.
Yeah, I get that. But not to tip our hand, but the movie could have used
Razzle
little
dazzle.
tweaks. Definitely. Or someone should have been like, Don, like, let me help you co-write this really
hmm.
quick, bro. But what about some favorite scenes? Do you guys have any favorite scenes, or do you have scenes that you absolutely hated? I I want to say my favorite scene is when the general in charge when he dies of a heart attack
Yep.
because Chucky's reaction was
Oh, you gotta be fucking kidding me.
like it took me out. I was like,
He wanted to be the one.
yeah, he's like, damn, natural causes. But what about you guys? What are some of your favorite scenes or scenes you absolutely hated? Let's go with you, Rudy.
My favorite scene is when fuck, I don't even know his position. The one who's in charge of cutting their hair and he leaves them all bald headed.
Oh, the barber
Yeah.
Yeah, he's
guy.
a dick. So he got what he deserved. similar to the teacher in part two. Yeah, I didn't feel sorry for him at all. And even though it's part of his act, and like he was, you know how they be like in the army, that's how they act. But I just thought like he was too aggressive with the guys, especially Andy. Almost like he was bullying him. And I feel sorry for Andy because he was always bullied. Now that I think about it, like the teacher was picking on him, and you know. But that was my favorite scene when he got killed off.
What about you, Tuan?
I think I don't know if I really have any scenes I really do like. I actually, well, besides like the scene you did mention with the general getting a heart attack, because that was like pretty funny. Like Chucky was like very mad that he didn't get to kill him. Um, but I don't want to say I like this scene, but I did the scene I just found like even though it's like a little bit interesting, but in like a mean spirited kind of way, was after Chucky had replaced like the bullets in their guns with live ammunition, and they actually ended up killing somebody with it. Like the kids, they killed one of the colonels, like one of the cadets, with the live ammunition because they didn't know that he changed it to real bullets. They thought it was the paintballs, and they actually like ended up killing him for real. Like it wasn't like a good scene, but like in a mean spirited kind of way, it was just interesting because I'm like, damn, like Chucky didn't kill him, but he just set it up for them to do so.
Maria.
Yeah, to be honest, that whole setup was kind of like it was so smart. I mean, if it would have gone the way like he would have wanted it to, so many people would be dead, and it technically wouldn't really be his fault. Well, I guess it would, right? Because he changed the rounds. But like, I don't know, I just thought it was so smart. The way when he changed the bullets, I think my favorite scene, honestly, it's kind of like the same one that was mentioned when he gave that guy a heart attack. Because he was just staring at him like, what the fuck? As he just like, died of natural causes. Another scene would be when Chucky got his face sliced off. I honestly kind of really liked that scene. Though I don't know why in a haunted house attraction they would have such a sharp.
Right? That's supposed to be all fake and for show. Like that could kill someone in
Yeah.
real life. Like what the fuck's happening?
Yeah. Even while like setting it up, I'm pretty sure that would like hurt the fuck out of someone. So, but I don't know. I thought that scene was good. The scene where he kind of first met Tyler and he was just like, "Oh, we're gonna play a game," and Tyler just went with it. I was like, "This is not happening right now."
Why did that little black boy want that white ass ginger doll? That was unrealistic. Now I'm not. Now I've played with a doll or two in my time, but I would have never saw the Chucky doll and was like, "Oh my god, a good guy." No.
I think it was mainly because Chucky was a good guy, though, and I would have also not played with him clearly because I can't relate. I'm not a ginger, but it's just Chucky. In the movie, like in that fuck, what do you call it? Like universe, a good guy
Yep.
doll was like a to die for kind of thing for every kid. So, but I think now like in this generation, I don't think they would have made Chucky a white ginger doll. Honestly, it would have been like a doll of color to be more diverse. Because like you said right
Yep.
now, it would bring up a lot of questions like why would they have some, it can be anyone, any minority, wanting a white doll. So it's funny though if you think about it.
The scene I hated because I don't understand why, but like, why the fuck was Andy being arrested at the end?
I thought they
Like
were just taking him for questioning. Like that was it.
he was
Because I mean,
handcuffed.
no, he wasn't. Was he?
Yeah, wasn't he? I'm pretty sure he was handcuffed.
I didn't see any handcuffs. I don't know. I just thought that they were just taking him like just for like for questioning. Because I mean, technically he was there. I don't think they knew exactly who he was yet. And like the girl, like I mean, yeah, she was shot, but she was still conscious. I'm pretty sure she would have been like, no, like he didn't hurt me. Somebody else hurt me. So there was kind of maybe just because he was there and he survived, but I don't think they were arresting him.
I could have read that wrong. Anybody got any other scenes that they liked, they disliked?
Nah.
Well, let's move on then. Let's go talk about some characters. And first up, returning from part 2 is Mr. Sullivan, the head of the Play Pal company. What do you guys think of Mr. Sullivan? Let's start with you, Maria.
I well, he was a dick. I mean, I don't know. I mean, I kind of liked the way that he killed him. I thought that was pretty cool. Cause like Chucky was like,
Just like the good old days. Nothing like a strangulation to get the circulation going.
I don't think I had any strong feelings for him in this movie that I did in the last movie. I think he was just kind of like, doing his day by day, his work. Then they gave him that doll for some reason. And then he just went back to his office trying to do his work. And then he died. And that was it.
Rudy.
Yeah. I didn't care for him because, like I said in the second one, he was just being greedy. He wanted everything covered up so that his business continued, and I'm honestly shocked that they even brought him back in the third one for the audience and fans to kind of see what happened with him. And voila, he got killed off. So I didn't care for him either way.
I like how Andy's older, but Mr. Sullivan looks the same as he did in the second movie. But what about you, Tuan?
Yeah, like still don't really care for this man, and Maria said he actually did get strangled by the Lakeshore Strangler, um, in this movie, but it's just like this man's obsession with bringing these damn dolls back, like damn, like he really does not care, at all. Like obviously, no, like
Like, yeah, right? Because it's like there's the company fate, like lies, and the good guy. That's the only shit. That's only shit that's selling.
yeah. Like it's like, do y'all like this? The good guy got is the good guy doll the only thing y'all sell? And I'm pretty sure, like we mentioned in the second one, like people will still want to buy the dolls even after everything they heard because they probably want to see, oh, when my doll talk to me, things like that. Like, well, something possibly happened, and then you got psychos out here probably thinking the same shit, but it's like, why does your God's fate lie in this doll that you have to like constantly keep bringing back, even though it's been like 8 years? Like, I'm pretty sure public perception maybe has not changed that much to where you just need to bring them back so bad. But so I mean, in a sense, he had it coming for whatever was going to happen involving the dolls, and he just so happened to get taken out this time around and making it so that Chucky could find Andy once more. But yeah, nothing. He's not absolved from anything because this is all his fault.
Yeah, like I don't know why they kept bringing the fucking doll back. Like why are they recycling the parts? Like I'm pretty sure you don't have to go through so much just to get the parts, keep them, and then recycle them like for what,
And
Like
9 years later,
yeah, like it kind of like there's no way that your million billion whatever fucking company is trying to get parts so bad that you had to go to a crime scene and take these parts. Well, first they had to I don't even know what the fuck they had to do because like he was like waxed all over it and it looked awful. So like you really had to take that thing off of the floor, bring it back to the lab. I don't know what the hell they had to do with it, but I'm pretty sure it wasn't easy to put it back together. Like I feel like that makes absolutely no sense.
but also his re-resurrection scene was like, so he because he was mixed and re-put together, he came back to
Yes,
life.
that is where I was very confused with this movie. That very much confused me because I'm like, shouldn't there be more?
Well, Don Mancini wanted that was Don Mancini wanted to make this a multiple Chucky story, and that's how he was gonna do it.
I don't,
But
I don't know why he
but
wants to do that. Like ugh,
yeah,
when
because
that.
when we get to Cult of Chucky, then I'm gonna complain a lot about the
That.
multiple
Yeah,
Chuckies.
Hmm.
But he wanted to do it for this movie, but the studio was like, nope, that's too much. That's weird. Let's just stick with the Chucky we already got.
That's how they should have stuck it out
hmm
too.
But yeah, the whole I'm like I don't understand what's happening. So there, his blood is getting mixed in somehow. I'm like would they have seen all this when they like picked up the melted toy? Like when they have seen like organ pieces and shit. Like I'm so confused. Cause when in the final battle, in the second movie, he ripped off his arm and they had like tendons and shit inside. So when they blew his head up, wouldn't that have been like brain splatter or some shit? The rules are too loose and goose. I'd be confused. But let's talk about Andy. What'd you guys think of aged teenage Playboy reading Andy? Tawan.
I don't I don't really know how I felt about the actor they got playing Andy. Like, it really just felt like a placeholder for someone for us to call Andy in the movie. Like, he didn't feel as in, like Andy. Like, even though Andy was a kid, Andy was like very smart and intuitive. Like this time around, I don't know. It didn't really feel like it to me that he was like being as smart as like he was when he was a kid. So I didn't really have much feelings about this Andy because it really felt more like they wanted. Well, even though they wanted us more to focus on the the kid Tyler, if I recall.
Did we lose him?
Um, and he wanted us to focus more on him because he was going to try to put like Chucky was going to try to put his spirit inside of him in his body. But yeah, I didn't really have. It's where usually I have the most to say about Andy, but in this one I have the least to say about Andy because he didn't really stick out this time around. And yeah, I kind of felt he was a little boring in this one and not as smart as he was in the other one.
Rudy.
Yeah, he wasn't like the original, or even like the original actor that plays Andy. I'm really having a like shit day today as far as remembering names, but he reminds me of like the Dollar General version of Andy, and so like Tawan said, it just didn't catch my attention. They made him stupid, like you said. They made him almost as if he didn't have the experience. Like, bro, you just had encountered Chucky twice already in your lifetime. You still don't know what the That's what it seemed like. It like he was still an amateur when he should have been a pro at this point of the franchise. So I kind of wish they had casted the original guy who played Andy. But I guess they wanted someone aged, right, older. So
Yep.
yeah, no, I'm gonna have to pass on this Andy, Dollar General.
For me, I've seen this actor in different. Well, I've seen him in the Superboy show. That's about it. But he they keep, they kept having him do like glances, like staring off into space, looking all shook. And I was like, are you constipated or are you afraid? I can't fucking tell. Like this is not the performance wasn't given what it was supposed to give, and I just felt like, where's that kid? Can we get Alex Vincent back because this was horrible? I'm just like, and you like what Rudy said, they did make him dumb because in part two, Andy was like setting traps and shit. Like Andy escaped the fucking psychiatrist place in the first movie.
Right. So how'd you go from that to being slow?
Now he fucking dumb and what the fuck did he do to end up in military school to begin with? I feel like I missed that. Did they say that? What he did? Or no?
It could have been PTSD, honestly, which kind of triggered with his brain to like function like any other normal person. That's my theory.
So you have a traumatic experience twice and they send you to military school?
Mm-mm-mm. They wanted him to
What
become a man.
what the fuck? What about you, Maria? What did you think about the new Andy?
Yeah, I felt like they made him stupid. It felt like they were trying, because Andy in the first two movies, he was young. He was like literally a child trying to fight this doll. And it kind of felt like they were trying to keep that same energy here. Like they made him, like, sure, like, yeah, he had the Playboy or whatever, to make you think, oh my God, Andy's all grown up. But at the same time, it felt like he just felt so innocent, you know? Like when he, like, I felt so weird because sometimes he would have this little boy look, you know, and then he would be staring up into space and he just seemed so like lost and so afraid. And then other times they'll like have him in like adult situations, like with that girl De
Kristen
Silva. Yeah. Like
De
that
Silva.
whole bit was kind of weird, you know? Like I feel like it kind of made no sense. And look, and she looks so old. Like when they kiss, I was
Right?
like,
She
what?
looks like she's like pushing 30 and he's like 15. I'm like, why
Literally.
is she in here with these kids? Like, what the fuck is going on right now?
But yeah, I just felt they were trying to keep that little boy innocence with him, but it was like a weird balance because he was not, you know, he was not a child, not
We
anymore.
didn't have any connections with that actor, so you felt disconnected from the character he was trying to play.
Yeah.
Like I'm a huge soap opera fan, and recast on soap operas happen all the time. And then also aging. Like you can look up one day and a fucking character is 9 years old, and then 2 months later, that character is 16 and having a bunch of teenage stories going on. And sometimes it worked, and sometimes it doesn't, because this didn't work. Like he also wasn't traumatized enough for me. I'm like, this kid need to be fucked up. Like he survived 2 attacks from Chucky.
Yeah.
Like his aunt got killed, people got killed, he saw a house get blown up. Like Chucky tried to kill him. His mom was in a mental hospital. His foster parents are dead, teachers are dead, social workers dead. Like he needs to be traumatized. He wasn't traumatized enough for me. Like he should have been helping Chucky. That's how fucked up I want Andy to be. Thelma and Louise with Chucky and fucking Andy taking
For
people
Andy
out.
to be his own serial killer,
Yeah, like
him
it's in
becoming the next Lakeshore Strangler. Ooh.
yes, like under Chucky's guidance and tutelage, he was making Andy into his apprentice. Like it should have like I don't know. It was just let's talk about the Silva. What you guys think about the Silva, Maria?
She was so old. When I first saw her, I was like, there's no way. And then like when I saw like Andy give her that look, I was like, oh my God, there's no way. And then I saw him throughout the movie. Then when they kissed, I was like, oh, because he has such a innocence energy from the movie, and like, and it was kind of weird because he was so timid and just not it, you know, just not what a main character I guess I thought would be in the Chucky series. But she was so like strong, and they were making her the whole, you know, like when she first like stood up for Andy and that other kid, I forgot what his name was, the kid with the glasses, the coward.
Winehouse,
Oh, I liked
Winehurst,
him.
Whitehurst. His name's
Oh,
Whitehurst.
well, like when she like first stood up with them, I mean she stood up for them. I thought that was nice. When she did those push-ups like nothing, and then she did like the one push-up with like just one hand, I thought that was pretty cool. I liked her. I guess I liked her like her character because she was like a strong, you know, supporting female character. Just she just looks so old. That bothered me so much because everybody else around them looks young. Like everybody looks young, and she just comes up on here like, you know what I mean?
You know, she's only 3 years older than. No, actually, she's 4 years older than the actor who plays Andy.
Doesn't that make her an adult though? Because wasn't he like 16 when he played Andy?
No, the actor was. I think the actor was older.
Oh, in the movie, I think he was 16 though, right? Am I confused?
Yeah.
Yeah, yeah.
So she was supposed to be playing like around his age, but she's like 4 years older, and you can definitely see those 4 years on her compared to the rest of them. Like she looked like she was in her 20s or some shit. Like
Oh,
she did not
well,
belong there. But Rudy, you're up next. What you think about the Silva?
um, I actually I appreciated her. I thought she was. I know what Maria's saying. They kind of made her like this creepy, like older pedophile, but she was really there for Andy. Like she genuinely cared for him, and the other boy, the little boy. So I think her intentions were good. I just think that the way they wrote her, the way she was perceived in the movie, um, came off a little different than how normally we'd see a girl, approach a guy. But I guess now it's the new norm anyway. Like, oh, the girls with younger guys or vice versa. So she was ahead of her game, and she was basically the wow, what do you say? Like the rock, the solid foundation of the movie because they made her into this like this superhuman. I mean, this superwoman image. It's I like her, and she helped Bay out, the wimpy guy. So points.
What about you, Twan?
Not gonna lie, like I like I remember her character in this movie, and like I remember her being there. But trying to come up for reasons why I liked or disliked this character, I am like blanking on it because like she had almost as much screen time as like Andy did in the movie, but besides like helping him towards the end and giving him a kiss, there was not much about.
The kiss of like you can do this,
Yeah, there
Andy.
was not much to her for me.
She was useless. She missed the shot. I'm like, that was a clear shot. You could have shot
That's
Chucky.
yeah, that's what I
Yeah,
was thinking. Like they made her seem so cool. They put her in the range and she was shooting like the middle part so easily. And you missed the fucking doll with his big ass head. Like I
And he was able to shoot you in the leg. Like, bitch, what is this?
like yeah, she was like also like kind of just there. And like I hate to say that about certain characters because it's like I feel like it's like giving them nothing, but I'm like she didn't give me much.
Honestly, for her and Andy to be the quote unquote leads, they were kind of just there.
Yeah,
you
Like
know,
other
I
characters
wonder
like filled it in for them.
which also like
I wonder if they
sorry.
like no no, I was just gonna say like I wonder if they like intentionally made her older. Cause like in the first movie Andy had his mom who was an older, obviously an older woman. In the second movie he had fuck, what was his
Mhm.
name? Kyle. And she was also obviously older, so he had someone older to look up to. So I wonder if in this movie they intentionally made her older to kind of fill in that role, except instead of like as a mom or as a sister, but as like a lover, I guess. You
Mhm.
know?
You giving him too much credit.
No, I was gonna say like I wonder like going into this, I wonder if they write this movie in mind of Andy not being there, and like, but they wanted Andy back, so they just had to find some way to include him because like a lot of points in this movie, like you could take Andy out, and most of this really wouldn't change. Like the only
Yeah.
thing with Andy is just how Chucky was able to use Andy's name as a placeholder for him to get sent to the school. But besides that, once Chucky gets to the school, if you take Andy out and leave everyone else, like I still think the story could work if just a couple things were tweaked.
Yeah, because they could have found a different way to get Chucky to. I mean, Chucky could have been like Sullivan could have been like, "Oh, I'm sending this to my brother who runs a military class, and he's gonna give this to his daughter or something." It could have went
Yeah,
that
like
way.
something like that. Like it could have went a lot of different ways. It felt like, and like every like just thinking about the movie, it's like I feel like this it was like written with and Andy not being in mind, but they were like, "Oh, we need him back," so they went back to the table. It's like, "All right, this is how we're gonna do it."
Studio was like, "We need Andy Barkley. Give me Andy
Yeah,
Barkley. Are we pulling this shit?" But what you guys think of Whitehurst, the nerdy roommate with the glasses? I'm not gonna lie, he was kind of
he was
cute.
a real one.
But then again, I like him nerdy with glasses, so I don't know.
Mm.
But with all of that, I wouldn't have jumped on the bomb. I'm
Oh
so
yeah,
sorry. People would have been dead. But like I wouldn't have taken the L for the people, especially the people
Who-
who've been bullying
Yep.
you. You literally fell on the bomb for them. Then that girl comes to kiss. Oh my god, no! Like what? Don't kiss him now. You've been picking him the entire time. Now he dead.
yeah.
But what about what did you get? What you guys think of Whitehurst?
I liked him. He was. I wish he had more like actual character development, screen time, to get like a background of him. But he. Okay, look, I'm just mad that they made him to this into this like superhero who, yeah, he took the L for everybody, and I just don't feel like they deserve that kind of salvation. They're doing him fucking bogus. So Bay could have just ran off like everyone else and let everyone else suffer. He would have still been in fucking the next sequels too, helping out Andy kill this Chucky doll, But
Oh no. What about you, Maria?
I don't know. They just made him so cowardly, like throughout the whole movie. And it was just like, just for him, like, yeah, to like at the end, for his way for him to redeem himself was for him to sit on a bomb. Like, I'm sorry, but he had so much time to just kick that shit. Like I feel like he had so much time to throw it, and just for him, for one, to die like that, and then two, it was like, except for that one girl who was out here crying for him, like it seemed like nobody really cared. Like right away, everybody was like dispersing, going to go do their own, their own thing, and it was like,
Could have
so
been shock.
yeah, like he could have been shot. He could have taken a shot for Andy, but it was like literally he got on this bomb. Most people survived, and then they literally just forgot about him. Like they were like, "Oh my god, he did that," and then they were like, "Okay, now like let's go back." you know, it just felt. I just don't get what his whole like reason for being there was. I guess like I feel like there was no reason to have him there.
There was no reason for him to die. Like, he could have also been like, "Hey guys, a fucking bomb,
Yeah,
move."
literally, that's all he could have fucking said. He went over there and told him move, and then he went and got on the bomb. Like, why? Why would he? Like, I feel like it would have been enough just for him to be like, guys, there's a bomb, and he should have like tried to drag everybody out. Like, I feel like that would have been like, or he could have kicked the shit out of the bomb. But no, and
Right?
to be honest though, his corpse looked kind of great. Like I really liked the way they did that special effect. Like his eyes were all white and like it was really cool.
Come on.
Yeah, I agree with all of you guys on that. Like, I didn't. It's like, okay, we get it. The person who was kind of being a little cowardly and everything throughout the movie, like, decided to like come up and like the midnight hour to like help. But I didn't think he had to kill himself to help him. Like, like I wouldn't have. Like I definitely wouldn't have been me. I'd be like, guys, like jump, run, whatever. Like not jumping on it and sacrificing myself like that. Like that's crazy. And, like obviously, they wrote it to be that way, but it's it's just like I don't think he had to do that specific thing.
I agree. Let's talk about Shelton. I hated Shelton. I also hated that part where I'm at to cut the audio clip in when he had the guy. When the guy was like,
This is my rifle. This is my gun. This is for shooting. And this is for fun.
I was like, what the fuck is this?
If I recall, that's from a different movie, and I've seen that movie. I'm trying. It was
Same. Don't know
wait,
what the fuck is called.
Full Metal Jacket. That's what it's from. It's a Stanley Kubrick
Yep.
movie. And when I heard that,
They tried too
I'm
hard.
like, why are we quoting a better movie?
Right? Right? You should never do that. You should never do that. Shelton was annoying, and I knew based off his second scene he was gonna die. It was too telling. I'm like, yeah, he's dead. I don't know how he's gonna die, but he's gonna die. And when I saw Chucky loading the fucking guns, I was like, "Yep, Shelton's gonna get." There was no way they're gonna shoot Andy, and then no way they're gonna shoot Tyler or De Silva because she's Andy's love interest. They both have to get to the end for the third act, and Tyler is the new host, so he can't die. So Shelton's gonna get shot. I kind of saw it coming. What about you guys, Maria?
Like I thought Shelton was cute, but
He was cute.
he was so cute. But I yeah, like I feel like he was just a dick for no reason. Like he picked on what was his Whitehurst, whatever his name was.
Yep.
But they picked on him so much, and I feel like literally for no reason. Um, I don't think he was like as bad as like a as bad as a what was he, a lieutenant? Um, I don't think he was as bad as everyone was making him out to seem, even though he was like a dick. But like, and I do, but like, I feel like the only person he really, really bullied was Whitehurst. Is that his name? Um,
Yep.
but I mean, he was also just kind of there, to be honest. It looked like they were trying to make him into like a little antagonist, like, like this guy's a dick, and then so when he dies, you don't really feel as bad about it. Which, to be honest, the scene where they shot him, that scene was kind of cool because you could see the bullet go through him, and there's like blood spilling out, and he like falls back. That part was kind of cool. Um,
Maria likes
but
the gore.
I really don't like gore. I like it when the special effects makes it look cool, but I'm not really great with like blood and stuff or like bones. I think it's the bones. That's whatever. Anyway, but he was just kind of there for me, to be honest. Like I don't see like I don't like just like how I don't see a reason to have Whitehurst there. I don't see a reason to have him there besides to make people's lives miserable. But I feel
He
like he
has to
wasn't
be the
even.
antagonist.
But like he wasn't even like a good antagonist, you know? Like he was like I don't know. He just wasn't. Maybe he wasn't as mean as I wanted him to be, but
Girl,
like,
just say it. It's because he's cute, so it gives him a pass. Like
no,
it,
TBH.
it's hard
doesn't
to
give him
like
a.
hate a character who's an asshole when he looks so damn good. Like, damn, it's passable.
But he was so boring, though. I don't
True.
know. I just wanted to do something
The
else.
cute ones are always boring.
Yeah,
Ugh,
always.
ugh, it's the worst.
They're always boring and they're always assholes. So he fit the part perfectly.
Yep.
But but what did you think? What did you think, Rudy?
About him. Yeah, I like Maria said. I mean, he's fine and everything, but his character just wasn't likable at all. He was like the typical, stereotypical at that, um, bully of the movie. Like because he thought he was hot shit and he was like up there in the world, so he thought he can just talk to anybody any kind of way. But um, that's all I have to say about him. Really, he got what he deserved at the end. So
Tawan.
um, yeah, he was like the bully, but it was like why was he the bully? Like he wasn't given any reasons as to like why he was the bully. It's like they just needed someone to be like that character. It's like okay, it's gonna be you, you're gonna be the asshole. But the way he died was crazy. Like his death was actually crazy. Like out of all the ones in this movie, that one like even I really didn't care for him. It was the most sad because like whoever shot him, like, the person who did shoot him, like they're gonna have PTSD after that because they didn't mean to kill him.
Right?
But because that's fucked up.
I forget about that aspect. Like someone
Yeah,
shot him. Like not Chucky, like one of his like classmates,
and yeah,
friends.
that's what he fucking gets.
like that was fucked up. But Chucky was smart for that one. Like Marie said at the beginning, Chucky was smart for that one. I can't even lie. But also, I'm like, nobody double checked these
Facts.
guns after they got them, like, because Because I
They
mean,
really
like, I
should
feel
have.
like in my head, like, even though like they were probably already checked, I feel like somebody should have went back and make sure, like, oh, these are the play rifles and these are the real rifles, and they check them and everything. I feel like they would just put them out there, but um, yeah. So yeah, there wasn't much to say about his character. Was Shelton right? Yeah,
Yep.
and also he ripped that line from Full Metal Jacket, which was very whack.
Well, let's
I'm
talk
sorry,
about what.
Shelton should have been Andy.
You know what? Yes, he was a better actor. I feel like he would have done Andy justice. I agree with that. Let's talk about Tyler, Chucky's new vessel. Now, if you were watching a newer version or a newer DVD that came out post 2008, my favorite scene, my favorite line from this movie is cut out due to it being racially inappropriate. Yeah, because depending on if you watch like a newer cut, the line when he's when Chucky's first talking to Andy and he's like, "Yep, I have someone new." And he was like,
Just think, Chucky's gonna be a bro.
they cut that line because it was racially insensitive.
Now you're making me want to watch the Blu-ray. See if they took it out on it. I don't think they did though.
And I was like, "What? No, that line was funny." As a bro, I thought that shit was funny. Like Chucky gonna be a bro. Like what? Like what happened? And they're like, "What? Well, due to Charles Lee Ray being white and the white doll is taking over a black boy's body." I'm like, yes, he's taking over that black boy's
At
body,
least we know that
which
he
means
doesn't
he's
discriminate.
yep. I mean, also, I think he might find it harder to be a serial killer as a black person because eyes are definitely always on you. So he that wasn't a smart decision. But what did you guys think about Tyler? I thought Tyler was kind of wimpy. He was annoying me the entire movie.
He was so adorable though. He was just like how Andy started off. You know, he was kind of
Yeah, but Andy wasn't wimpy. Andy was kicking ass the first movie and the second
well, that
one.
little boy.
This kid was
So you know, Andy was a little angry one. So, but I feel with Tyler though, they introduced him as this like gullible kid. Like
gullible and super innocent. It was
yeah,
annoying.
no, but it brings like it makes it realistic because we don't want to keep repeating the same. You know, introducing new characters as being like Andy. Like we want to see a different side of another victim. You know, to see how he would react towards Chucky versus how Andy did.
True. I did like him. Like Charles, don't say bad words. What about you, Tuan?
Thoughts on Tyler? Um,
Yep.
I don't have much to say about Tyler because, like, yeah, he was like a kid, he was like a kid and all, and like just so we saw with what happened with Andy, you can see how some kid could easily get wrapped up into what like Chucky would be telling them and everything. Um, and it and the thing that that kind of like takes me out is just I feel like like once you said earlier, Andy could have been smarter in like trying to assist him and everything. I feel like he wasn't trying hard enough to like assist him, um, with like going about it and everything. But like Tyler was like serviceable as like a new character for like this type of story for like Chucky to um like find a new person to put his soul into. So like his character was like serviceable for that point, but like I feel like the child actor is kind of bad though. like Alex Vincent as Andy was like really good and convincing, whereas I couldn't really believe that what this kid was like giving us in this movie.
Maria.
I agree with what Tawan said. I feel like, honestly, I feel like a lot of the acting in the movie was like not great and it was kind of really cheesy. I kind of feel the same way about, about Tyler. He was definitely really like, I mean, I guess they were like, he was just, yeah, he was just very, very naive. And I feel like Andy in the first movie, he was naive at first, but then I feel like he also quickly like got over it, you know? Once he realized that that Chucky was bad and wasn't like a great person or like a great, doll. Um, and I feel like I don't know, he was just I mean, how old was he? Like he just seemed just very young.
I
And it
thought
was
he was
also
supposed to be like at 12 or like 13. 12, I'm sure.
well, I feel like for a 12-year-old, he was like he just did not act like it, you know. I feel like Andy at that age was a lot more. I mean, not even at that age. I think he got Chucky when he was like 7,
No,
8.
he was like 9 or 10.
Yeah, but I feel like by then he was already kind of like
Yeah, and I feel like Tyler should be more like you're in military school. You should be more equipped to kick some ass.
right. You know, like I don't know. Like I feel like he should have had. I mean, like wizard instinct. I don't know.
The system failed him. The system failed my poor brother. It's okay. But I
He
yeah,
tried.
I don't I think if you took Tyler out, one thing would really like I don't the whole movie there are just things that could have been done differently, and some like it just doesn't fit. Like I definitely agree with Tawan said earlier. It feels like they wrote a script, they had it one way, and then someone was like, "Yeah, but I don't see Andy Barkley in his script," and so they're just like, "Oh fuck, let's just throw Andy in here and throw some other characters in here to tie it all together to make it seem like we had a plan." That's what this all feels like. So I don't know. But what did you guys think about Chucky and his third appearance, Maria?
Um, Honestly, like no character in this whole movie just really gave me anything, you know? Like Chucky was just kind of like just doing his thing, I guess, you know, just trying to kill people, trying to get his body back. He didn't, nothing he really did really stood out to me,
Same
you
old,
know,
same old.
besides, yeah, like it was just the same thing. I mean, besides the whole, you know, like that whole rifle thing, I thought that was actually pretty cool. But like that was about it. Like everything else was just him killing people and like trying to go after Andy. And then once he was like, nah, I'm gonna go after this other kid, he was just doing the same thing. And like and I felt like he was also trying to go after and obviously trying to kill Andy for like, you know, for ruining his first chance of having a body. But that was also kind of very dumb of him. Like your body's out of time. Can't keep doing that shit. But he just didn't give me anything. You know, I don't think of him in any way during this movie. I don't think it was like he didn't pop out. Like it was like the same thing, if not like the same old thing as before, and yeah, nothing like nothing special.
Tawan.
Yeah, I think out of all of the movies, I think this Chucky, in my opinion, was the weakest Chucky, even compared to like Seed of Chucky and stuff like that. Cause at least even then, like they kind of slowed down the killings in those ones, and like, he was just more funny. But like the jokes really weren't landing in this one. Um, and I would say like his best moment, honestly, was just the scene where he didn't get to kill the general because he had a heart attack. Like that just felt like a very Chucky moment. Like he was mad that he didn't get to kill him, and that it was like taken from him. But yeah, Chucky was kind of a little boring in this one. I would say the best, yeah. And besides the other best thing he did was like switching the bullets and the guns. Like that was cool. But he didn't even he wasn't gonna pull the trigger, so he didn't do like physically do that part. But yeah, it's like I don't really know how to feel about it in this because like I didn't really care for Chucky as much as the other ones. Like we don't like root for Chucky, but like I feel like he usually goes like all out of his way to do certain things, and I feel like he was kind of slowed in this one, and it just all goes back to like that thought that this movie was meant to be something else. And I keep thinking that like talking about certain points of this movie, and it's like they had to come in and do something with it, so they probably changed up whatever was supposed to happen, even though that's not confirmed to my knowledge.
Rudy.
I Chucky was, yeah, like like Maria and the one said, he was just there, and I think this movie was just like a cash grab in my opinion. It wasn't like something spectacular like the last two. in the franchise, which I think this is why they made the next installment, which obviously I won't get into because we'll talk about it next time. But it's because he just got too repetitive, too. It got old quick, so they had to change up the whole storyline and just like the motive. Because if you think about it, all along Chucky just wanted to be back as a human, and even in Bride of Chucky, he wants to go back to human, but then later on during the franchise, he just rather stay as a doll. So, in conclusion, I think Chucky in Child's Play 3 was just Chucky. Um, I don't think there are any like super memorable or iconic scenes with him in Part 3. So, yeah,
Yeah, this he made more jokes in this one. This is definitely the transition movie.
mm,
That's how I think of this one. This is the transition movie.
definitely.
So it was it. He was terrifying in the first movie, and he was scary as shit in the second movie. In this one, he was telling jokes and a bunch of like quippy one-liners. This is the flip, and I didn't like it. So, but let's talk about some behind the scene facts. Like the last movie, this movie had a $13 million budget and made $20.5 million in the box office. 15 million less than Child Plays 2. Interesting facts. Uh, Universal Studios had Don Mancini start writing the third movie before the second movie was even released. Like they were still doing like post production on Child Play 2 when they were like, we need you to write Child Play 3 right now. Like they greenlit the movie knowing that they wanted to come out in 9 months. And like I said earlier, like Don Mancini initially planned to like have multiple Chuckies. But due to the studio and due to budgets, they couldn't do it. And apparently they had a bunch of subplots. One was Chucky was attempting to possess a young African American cadet named Tyler Steele. Oh wait, nope. That's the wrong shit. That's from the last one. I mixed some shit in. Critics' reaction. This has a 23% on Rotten Tomatoes, as it should. The Dearest News said that it is but the movie is perverse and criticized the film's plot. I agree. The New York Times called the Chucky doll an impressive technological achievement, but said the film misses the sharpness and dark humor of the original. Variety called it a noisy, mindless sequel with subpar to bad acting. The writer Don Mancini said this is his least favorite movie out of the entire franchise. But do we agree with him? Maria, Tuan, Radalak, Rudy, Maria, Tuan, Rudy. It's time for us to give our review. Rudy, for Child's Play 3, do you give it cash or do you pass, and why?
Um, okay. So ultimately, as much as I don't like this, is like my least favorite of the franchise, I'll still give it a pass only because my opinion is my opinion, and I'm sure other fans out there enjoy it more than others like myself, and that's fine. So I would give it a pass only because like I said, other people like the whole military aspect of the movie, and mm, that's pretty much it. Not my favorite, but everyone else deserves to see it and to give their own opinion on it, whether they like it or not.
Tuan, do you cash or pass, and why?
Personally, past this one, whenever I think of like the Child's Play movies, like, and I want to rewatch them, this one never comes up in my mind. In my opinion, is very like forgettable as far as all the movies go, and I don't think even like I don't think it's brought up again in either any of the other ones. Also,
It is in the TV series. Andy mentions that he spent some time in the
gotcha.
military academy. Slight mention.
Yeah. Outside of that, like in my opinion, like at least to me, like it's very forgettable though. Like I don't remember this one a lot, um and yeah, anytime I would go back to watch him, like like in my mind, even before we like did this review, I remember like not liking this one like more than the other ones. So yeah, I would personally pass on this one. Like if you're gonna go through and watch all the movies, I would say watch it just to say that you have. But it's definitely not one that I would come back to or recommend others if they were to ask me about a Child's Play movie.
Maria, do you cash or pass Child Play 3 and why?
Probably pass. I don't think it's something that I would like watch again. And if somebody had asked me to watch it, I'd probably be like, nah, it's
Even
fine.
for your man?
Nah, hell no. The fuck, he can watch that shit himself.
No, I'm talking about like
You
the
have to
guy, the character, the
Shelton. You
yeah.
have to see Shelton's face
Nah,
again.
No.
nah. I can look him up on Google. I can find what else he's on, but I'm not gonna watch this movie again.
Yeah.
Not worth it. So sorry.
For me,
The
it's
acting itself was bad.
yes. For me, it's a hard pass. Like this is if this was in theaters right now, I'd be relying on word of mouth, and I'd ask everybody like, "Hey, like, have y'all seen this?" Because I remember I was just asking Tawani the other day, like, "Hey, have you seen Morbius?" Like, because I ain't been hearing good shit. Like, should I just wait to stream this shit for free when it hits whatever streaming service Sony is hooked up with?
It's good.
You see, I've heard a bunch of mixed things, and mixed to me is like, nope, you're probably not gonna like it. So this is one of those movies that like I'm pretty sure word of mouth would kill it.
No, because
And also,
you're relying on someone else's opinion. You might like it personally. I liked it. My friend who went to see it with me today, she didn't like it at all. I won't say why,
uh,
spoil it, but I think it's my kind of action. So yeah, watch.
yeah, I heard. Well, I had Morbius. Well, I listened to a podcast that broke it down,
Mm,
and I was like, yeah, I'm gonna watch it when it's streaming on one of the services that I already paid for. So I ain't giving no money to a movie ticket.
true.
But for Child Play 3, like Tawan said, it's kind of forgettable. Like it doesn't directly connects back to the rest of them. Like literally, the next movie has no mention of anything that happens in Child Play 3. We go from Child Play 3. We go from Bride of Chucky, Seed of Chucky, Cult of Chucky, Curse of Chucky, and there's like no mention of fucking military. And then Andy kind of mentions it in the TV series. So like this whole chapter is just like pretty much non-existent to the rest of the series. You need 1 and 2. Andy survived Chucky twice. It's all we need. So I would pass on this. I feel like if you don't watch this movie, you're not missing anything. It's literally repetitive. Like, would you guys agree? Like, you're not missing anything if if you don't watch this movie, right? It's just like a military movie. It's like they wrote a military movie and then stuck Andy and Chucky in
Yeah,
it.
that's all it is.
It's like Major Pain with murder.
You're so right, actually. I think that's what it is.
And sometimes that work. Like one of my favorite movies, Die Hard 3, was a script called like Simon Says. And like halfway through development, they're like, yeah, let's just throw what's his name's character in here and make it a Die Hard movie. And that completely fucking worked. This didn't. This was bad. This was I don't know. Donna Mancini was probably like, fuck this. Like I gotta get this shit out. Cause I'm pretty sure it came out 9 months after part 2. So I'm pretty sure he didn't have that much time to write the script because they had to go right into pre-production and shooting and then post production, all within that 9-month time period. So I'm pretty sure he was like rushed, and they're probably on his ass like, "Where's the draft? Where's the draft?" This is a bad movie. That's probably why it took like almost, because this came out in '91. The next movie doesn't come out until '98. There's probably a good reason for that, which we'll get into next week when we review The Bride of Chucky.
Yay, my favorite.
It's definitely the turning point to the series. I feel like that movie is the reason why the series is still going strong today.
Mm-hmm.
So I can't wait to talk about The Bride of Chucky. And thank
I
you all
haven't seen
so
that
much.
movie yet.
You haven't seen The Bride? I think you're gonna like it.
You're gonna love it.
It's actually really good. They have like some weird references to other killers, but it never made any sense to me. But we'll talk about it. We'll get into it. Thank you all for listening. This is the Haddonfield Horrors Podcast. Don't forget to follow us on Instagram at Haddon Horror. Thank you all so much. The Haddonfield Horrors Podcast is a Letters to Media production.
Should we do an intro?